watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm the other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
Together we are
Robray.
Welcome to Friday Night's Smackdown review, family. How's every single one of you? Thank you for being with us one more time. And it's time to talk about the show from the Madison Square Garden. Arena that is very important in the WWE. Tomorrow is a very special day for everybody. We remember something that happened, 20 years ago. 9/11 is something that we don't really like to remember, but it's something that changed the world. But, WWE, of course, they have to cash in on something because they did a documentary on that, so never forget. But, Paul, pretty decent show, right, for SmackDown?
Yeah, and, you could say it was because of the 9/11, they wanted to put on a good show. Or, you could say it's the AEW effect is, back in full swing because they wanted to combat that, and Rampage, which, starts right after SmackDown is over, but they put on a really good show for the most part, I thought, tonight. So that's the one thing where it's like, are we going to see this each and every week, or was this just tonight? And then in, 2 weeks from now, it'll be back to the old bullshit. Yeah,
it's true though. Like, you're right. Like, a good effort from the WWE. So thank you to every single one of you one more time for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Don't forget to watch every single thing that we do for content. So let's start, Paul. Like you said, WWE started out with like this, like the video package from this. They have a documentary in the WWE Network. Oh no, Peacock. I'm sorry, like WWE Network past tense. So we don't get that anymore. But like I actually watched that, not too bad, only like a half hour, pretty enjoyable. Like it's just how like they were able to be like the first company to put a live show after like the attacks on the Twin Towers and everything. And I mean just that, how like everybody just enjoyed, like like they were like really scared about performing, but then Lynn Garcia sang the national anthem, all of that. So like if you want to watch it, it's if you feel it that like time to remember, is actually a pretty nice documentary. But like the good news about this show, or like the main news, it was like the Extreme Rules. We're gonna see a Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and Finn Balor. So like Paul already was saying to me, they might be somebody showing up as an alter ego here. So I'm like, so hopefully they don't do that. But of course they do. It's WWE. So like Roman came out. And tell me, like, did you like it? I mean, I was cool so far. It was good. He's dominating. He's showing that he's the big, like the tribal chief and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, when they come out, to me, they feel so legit. The music, they all come out there. They say it's like the bloodline. Here is, the tag team champions and the universal champion, Roman Reigns and the Usos, they feel like so legit. And this is like a top faction. This is one of the best things in all of wrestling on any show in any promotion.
Yes.
So
the shirt is really good. The shirt that they have is really nice too. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Don't you think that's also like, for example, like see like they now like don't feel like Roman's lackeys anymore. Now actually feel like they're part of something. Like they're members. It's not like just like we do the dirty work for him. No. So that was good. And then Brock Lesnar shows up. So you see like right away they had to pull the big gun. So people will actually be hooked on the show. So you saw like what's going on, and he wants like a championship opportunity. He says why didn't you tell Roman that I was going to be in SummerSlam? So you see a lot of like the dissension. You see the break, cracks, and you liked it. I was good. I feel like
what did you think? Yeah, and then what did you think when Heyman then kind of flipped the script, and then he was doing the whole Brock Lesnar shtick, like my name is Paul Heyman.
They let him out,
he was doing that, and it's like is he just doing this to calm Brock down? And look, I love the way McAfee was selling Lesnar. He's like, if aliens came down and we had to send one human to fight him, we would send Brock Lesnar. Like the shit he says is so good.
McAfee, it's like the shit that and also when he's dancing with Nakamura, I'm loving it. That's a great stuff. Yeah, like you said, I like that.
Yeah, I like that. And speaking of which, he's back, so that's good that he's better from COVID. But this is good. He's like, what? He's like, before Roman fires your ass, because he knows that you're a snitch, a little, a little pretty much bitch playing both sides.
Yeah, you're a little, you're a traitor.
Yeah, he's like, before Roman fires your ass, get him to give me a title shot. And then Heyman's like, so he doesn't say anything. So then then Lesnar picks him up for the F5, and you're like, oh shit, Heyman's gonna take a bump? Like, no way. And then Roman Superman punches him, but he pretty much takes like a Samoan drop instead of like an F5. Which I mean, if I was Heyman, I'd rather just be like, you know, just kind of fall down than be spun, because he's a big man. He's old to be spun like that. I don't think that would have ended too well. He probably would have broken a wrist or something. So it's better to just do the Samoan drop. But, you know, Heyman taking a bump, all this stuff, you know, it added to the animosity because Roman, he really didn't give him an answer yet.
No, yeah, exactly. We didn't know what was going to happen, but a great start of the show.
Yeah.
I think that, like, that's how you do it. And, like, the one thing is, like, also you leave a big hook. Because it's like Finn Balor is in the middle of all of this. So
yes.
What is Finn Balor going to do? Or what is he going to say about this? Because in, you know, kayfabe world, what happens if Finn Balor wins the Universal Championship Extreme Rules? So then this feud completely becomes meaningless,
well,
right?
I was going to say, I mean, at some point I wanted to sneak this in there. I would love to see Finn Balor again, you know, being presented more legit, because when he was presented bullshit mid-card, you know, IC champ, he put on a good match with Brock Lesnar, I believe at the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
And, you know, this, you know, if he had a match with Lesnar now, Balor's presented more legit on the main roster. I feel like that could be a really good match. So, you know, and Lesnar was, you know, he was doing all right talking on his own. He said a few words, but everything he said, you know, it was what he needed to say. So, because people always say he struggles, but I thought he did fine here.
He did okay, like you said, probably like you know, only a few words. You know, don't say more than that.
Yeah.
You know, keep it like that. But then Kayla Braxton is like, you know, so what's going on? Are you with or are you without? So like, I don't know. I really don't know. So Heyman is like, I love the interaction between these two. They have a lot of chemistry, and that's because of the talking smack. They develop that, you know, good like relationship. So like Kayla sells a lot also. I like that. You know, she's really good. And like probably out of all the reporters, she's the best right now. Because Charlie didn't even get to that level. I think Kayla is the best out of all of them. Even Charlie when she was in the WWE. Of course, we got to talk about shit, right? Then we got to talk about like stupid segments. Of course, we got to talk about things that like, do people really care about? 5 against 5. I mean, we kind of care a few of like those 10, but like when they're thrown like this, you know, to us, no, thank you. It's just like, oh, let's put everybody in the roster.
No, in a match like this, you know, you go, okay, Otis is going to be safe. He's not going to get pinned or anything because he's being presented well. So it's like, who's going to get pinned here? Probably. Well, Sami Zayn, you know, Sami Zayn, you know, he's a clown, and then you see they bring out some basketball player. I don't really know and or care. So to me, and you know, a 10-man tag, I already hate it. Now you're making me hate it even more. This is a match I could barely pay attention to. I know
guy doesn't even play in like a team from New York. He played in Atlanta.
Yeah, it was because he was the one who beat the team in New York, so he had a bunch of heat. And Big E pinned Sami Zayn. I don't care. You know what I mean? This was just bad.
And just for people to know, because we care, you know, we care about this. Like, it's like, oh, it's like, what's the name of this dude? Trae Young. There you go, Trae Young. Not even Trey Miguel. No, Trae Young. There you go. Like, and you said they kicked the guy out. Like, oh, so you gotta go. It's like, absolutely. This is the segments that you said, like, completely take me away from shows.
For this to be the first match is pretty bad.
Oh yeah, like, you know, like get this, you know, like this should be like the dark match, the match that nobody cares about, or like, you know, the match that after the show. But like, of course, this was just also to sell on Big E. Kayla was already in the ring, and it's like, oh, so what are you gonna do? And Big E says like, Bobby Lashley doesn't know. Roman doesn't know where I'm going to show up. It's like, I'm going to use what I have to get what I need to be or to get what I want. And then he says, well, you never know. But like, I'm just going to use my powers, all of that. So at least he's being presented better this. I'm not going to
I was sorry. I was just going to say, to me, this was like one of the best Big E promos ever. I mean, he still said his verbiage, but the way he said it, he was angry, confident. He demanded that respect. Like, don't matter if it's Lashley, don't matter if it's Roman. I'm coming, you know. And you'll feel like the power.
My power, yes.
Yeah, but he said it legit. He wasn't thrusting his hips. He wasn't making a face like it looks like he's like, you know, in the mood, you know, for some bootios. No.
No,
he was serious. Stuff.
Yes,
this was good.
Yes, and exactly.
This is how when we say we hate the New Day, if you present him like this, we love the
we
New Day.
Will love the New Day. We will like New Day rocks.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Like, Big E will rock if he stays like that. So let's go to like Lady Gaga. No. Let's go to Becky Lynch, and you know the contract signing with also Bianca Belair. She shows up. I mean, she's learning from like the fashion from her husband Seth Rollins, so it's understandable that she will come out with outfits like this. I mean, she's heel. I mean, she doesn't say she's heel. She said in an interview, "I'm not heel. I'm just smarter than that." So she's not trying. I don't think it's working, Paul, for me. I just don't see it. I just feel that, like, you know, it's forced, and she's trying, but it's not really becoming like that. I mean, Bianca got good heat also. I mean, good, like, babyface love. But here was good because they were trying to force her to sign the contract. I thought that she was not going to, but in the end she did.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this segment was pretty good. I mean, it's hard because I feel like this doesn't go over because, you know, it's like when Stone Cold turned heel. It's like, you know, people still love him, but like he's heel, and you're all smart, and you know you're supposed to boo the heel, so like you boo him, but you still also cheer him, so you kind of really don't make any noise. You kind of just like, you know,
yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of like where Becky Lynch is at. She's like in between. I mean, yeah, you know, all her verbiage and everything she's doing and the way she's acting is good as a heel. She's like, you know what? Maybe I was going to give you your championship match tonight because I said I'll do it when the man's ready. But, you know, you guys rush me, you pressure me, you do all this stuff. You know, now it's not going to be tonight. I'm not signing this contract. And they're like, yes, you are. Don't be bullshits. And then Bianca's like, sign it, sign it, sign it,
sign it, damn it.
I would have signed it just for her to stop saying it. I'm like, all right, bitch, I'm signing it. You know, okay. Like, but,
I thought that she was gonna come and go out. You know, she was gonna say like, you know what, nah. But like, she ended up doing it. Like you said, I don't know if I believe that she's really, you know, is working as heel. Now, one thing is like she should have to do more heel tactics, but the problem is with like being PG, you know, you don't really have a lot of room to come out with stuff. And also, like Sasha Banks was supposed to be in the building, they didn't use her. I don't know, but like she was actually in the match.
And the only thing I see, you know, it's been how many weeks since Toni Storm debuted, right? Toni Storm should be having some wins on SmackDown. So then when Bianca loses here, because I think Bianca needs to lose, you're not going to just do that to Becky Lynch. So Bianca loses here. Her next opponent could be Toni Storm.
Yeah.
No, of course, Becky Lynch is going to beat Toni Storm as well, but that would be a good match for her because you got to think when she beats Bianca, tell me another woman, a babyface that's been getting wins on SmackDown.
And you know that's where you're the best booker in the business. It bothers me that like nobody ever thinks about what's next. You know, you just do like, you know, the immediate. You do just the now. Oh, okay, we have Stream Rules, but what's going to happen 2 months from now?
No, what they'll do. Becky Lynch will win, and then they'll have like a fatal 4-way to determine the #1 contender. It'll be like Zelina Vega, Carmella, you know, Toni Storm, and Liv Morgan, and then they'll have Becky Lynch on commentary. That's
why, like, it sucks. It sucks. But at least, you know, Becky's okay. I'm not completely sold on her. Let's move on to, like, another promo by, like, Paul Heyman and Kayla Braxton. It's like, hey, I'm here. You know, it's like, oh, Paul, so we have any updates? What's going to happen? No, I don't. All I'm going to tell you is, like, Roman's going to answer to Brock Lesnar's challenge at the end of the match that, like, the Usos are going to cover the Street Profits for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. But then, of course, this at least is cringy at, you know, at the very least, but at least it's not bad enough. You know what I mean? It's in that middle. It's like, it's okay, don't go over it. Just stay like that. I'm okay with that. Just be a little creepy, but that's it. Don't take it to the next level because that's when I start hating you.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I mean, to me, you know, at least it was like, okay, it was short, whatever, boom, it was over. I didn't have to like see it too much, and it wasn't like I said, the shaking the hips, all the craziness. But to me, it's like the first promo he did was so good. If that should have just been what we saw from Big E, you know, more of that, less of this.
Exactly, you're right. I absolutely love it. Seth Rollins against the Rated R Superstar Edge, the rematch from SummerSlam, and this was a pretty good match. What, like 20 minutes? I like this. It was like, you know, you saw a good storytelling in this match. Why? Because we got to see Seth Rollins imitating a little bit of Edge's arsenal. He did the glam slam. Edge always, like, you know, trying to sell the crossface. We got to see like a pedigree.
Yeah, I'm saying Edge did the pedigree. Yeah, I mean, this was good, but I don't know. I mean, it was just one of those things where I don't know how you felt during the match, but I'm watching. I'm just like, I'm trying to think who's going to win. I'm like, Rollins has to go over here because, you know, we've seen Edge versus Roman already. We haven't seen Rollins versus Roman.
Yes.
And, you know, you really got to set people up because I don't care who you throw in front of him. You know, you can bring back Bruno Sammartino from the dead, but I don't think, you know, anybody's taking that belt off Roman until at least WrestleMania.
For that, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Brock Lesnar is gonna, like, the role that he's gonna play at Crown Jewel. That might be a good thing, that, you know, timing to get it off and maybe to put it back on, you know, like a few months after that. But you're right. I mean, neither one of these guys have enough, like, I don't want to say name value, but neither one of those guys, I think that, like, they fit in that role of, like, taking the title away from Roman. But I mean, like I said, Edge was what the one guy done, and Rollins is not going to do it. There's not a big of a story because we've seen that before. So, like, I mean, you're right in that aspect, and I don't know. I just thought to myself, Edge is, like, already his matches in WWE this year are up. Probably, you don't have to do. And also, you know, him feuding with the title one more time, it doesn't make sense. You've seen it already more than once.
I do like the ending. It was almost like he had to put the old dog, you know.
Yeah,
he had to take him out back. He had to take him out back and put him down. It was like a super kick. You know, he sat up, another super kick. You know, another super kick, and then Rollins in that raspy voice, he's like, "Why won't you die?" And then he did like another super kick to stomp. you know, 1, 2, 3. As soon as it was over, you know, the refs, they're like, oh my God, get the stretcher out here.
I love that ref. I think her name is Jessica. Absolutely. Wait, no. Thank you. If you watch Road Break, please, you know, we love you. Absolutely great job. She's actually the best referee right now. All the women, and probably like up there with Charles Robinson in the WWE. Like you said, this is the reaction that you tell me that a story was really nice. It came out with
and if you know he's done for a while, like let's say, you know, maybe like you said, maybe he's done till next year. So boom, he comes back in the Royal Rumble. He doesn't win it. He doesn't have any crazy storyline, but you know, he can be in it, you know, maybe have a good show, get eliminated, whatever. So, you know, if he's coming back next year, but this is the perfect way to write him out for a while, sell the net, because commentary said Edge was back. He defied the odds. He was legit.
To the shirt, everybody. See, like, he was a hot match. That's why.
They're like, but there was one thing that, you know, Edge, you know, and everyone was worried about is how could the neck hold up? And Rollins stomp, it took out Cesaro for weeks, and Cesaro's neck was legit. Edge's neck, you know, is repaired. It's not that legit. So a stomp, you know, would have been devastating. Unfortunately, he suffered.
Even Rey Mysterio is right there to tell the story.
Like, I mean, this is going to be you know, it's something. I mean, Rollins, hell, when they asked Rollins, because then they asked him, like, was this your intention? Even Rollins kind of like broke character. You know, he's like, so this isn't what I wanted. I didn't mean to do this. So they're really selling the injury. So, like I said, I think this is. I agree with you. Edge is going to take some time off.
So, like, you saw a little bit of regret, and that was good. I like that. You know, I like when Edge like does this kind of things. It was a good story. They told it in a nice way. I like it. You know, I'm good. So
maybe that was their way to turn him babyface before he goes against Roman.
I mean, yeah, like exactly. So this has like this is an end for something, and then is the beginning for something else. So we'll see what's next for Seth Rollins. Like I said, maybe after we see Stream Rules, maybe we get to see also like a Crown Jewel. It can be in the middle, like he can be added into like the King of the Ring tournament. You know, you never know. That might be a possibility for Rollins. But let's go to Heyman. You know, like, this is like a father and son moment. Or, you know, it's like, so... Because I don't like with the Usos, hey, we're going to, like, we got you, Tribal Chief. We got you. You know, we're going to win. We're going to win, Us. You got you, Us. You know, it's legit, Us. So, like, he's like, okay. They leave, and he's like, why wouldn't you tell me that Brock was going to be on SummerSlam? You know, in the most serious fashion. And then he's like, oh, don't do anything. You see, like, it's like, so, like, you see, I mean, there's distrust. So we don't know what side Heyman is really going to be on.
Yeah,
so
because because Heyman won't just come out and say, "Oh, it's because I'm still working with him." Heyman he just cowers in fear. He just goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and apologizes and whimpers like a little whiny bitch. But he doesn't give Roman the answers, and Roman knows he's double crossed him now. So Roman is like, I can only trust this guy for face value. I can only trust him with what I can see because I know he's going behind my back. Yes. So the whole thing is falling apart. So maybe they are going to pull the trigger and take the title off him. But I don't really think they, you know, I don't know. I still think he's holding it to WrestleMania. And I think maybe this is going to be something where he runs through Lesnar and really solidifies it. Because that would be, I think, the most credible opponent, as legit as John Cena is. And I mean, the Demon, if you would have presented him legit from 2016 when Balor won the belt, you know, unfortunately got injured and everything. But I think the Demon, he could be main event, but he doesn't have the mystique like he, you know, really should.
And also, I think they're pulling it off just because they know that is the only way to sell the story. But let's move on to, before we talk about that, let's talk about the Street Profits and the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Pretty good match. There's chemistry on this because they're both young. The style is similar. They do go to the aerial moves. They actually know how to fight in the ring also. So it's not all about flippy, but like they actually combine both styles. And they give you like, you know, a brief like 50-50 on both. So you saw that was okay. And then, you know, pretty much there was a lot of opportunities for both teams to actually win. Roman Reigns came out, like he was actually looking. And the one thing I like about this is that he saved the titles. He's never done anything to the Usos to actually save them from something. So he actually broke out of like, you know, this is like, I do everything and they held me. No, I'm actually going to help them out too. So like he did a choke like on like to Montez 4, and like of course there was a deal with disqualification. But see, this is how like I feel that like now they're actually a group. It's not Roman above them, and now that they're all like, you know, in one sync.
Yeah, because Roman is smart. He knows the rules. He knows, okay, like let's think about it. My guys don't have to win to retain their belts. I can just walk in and choke this guy out because Montez Ford hit from the heavens. He hit the big splash. So, you know, he was about to pin him, and Roman's like, nah, no, you're not. Choked him out. Okay, Charles Robinson calls for the DQ. It's not like they're going to strip him of the belt or anything. So,
yes,
you know, I mean, Roman was smart. He did that, and, you know, so I agree.
He cuts the promo, you know, he cuts the promo about Brock Lesnar. So you want to fight with me? You know, you want a match? You want the title on the line? That's fine. You know, once I'm done with Finn Balor, you are next. So you see Roman and, of course, of the Usos and also Paul Heyman all celebrating. And then, there was rumors, and the rumors, of course, are true because nothing is already like a surprise in the WWE anymore. At least, not even on Dynamite, not even on AEW, not even on Impact. That's the one thing that professional wrestling lost is the surprise factor. Sometimes they pull it off, not all the time. He comes out as like the Demon. I mean, a good, you know, the look is good. Finn Balor is okay. Big stare down. I love this. You know, this is great. But again, you said it like when I asked you to. You said it to me. It's like, well, it's legit. But if he doesn't win, then what does that matter? Completely like lost. Finn Balor could be going from like main event right now in Stream Rules to lose that, and then where the Demon is never gonna come out then, because you should win with the Demon. You know, so
yeah, that's what I mean. You know, unless you do something that Lesnar screws Roman out of the title, and then, you know, then the Demon beats him, and maybe it's something like, oh, I can only use the Demon once every couple months or something, and then, you know, Roman gets a rematch with Finn Balor, and it's just, you know, normal Finn Balor, and then he beats him, and it's not the Demon, and then Roman gets his title back. Balor gets, you know, a short, maybe 3-4 week title reign, something like that, which would be bullshit. But I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. At least,
you know, and he has to win because otherwise,
I mean, yeah. Otherwise, what do you do with the Demon? Because, you know,
no. What do you do with the Demon one? What do you do with Finn Balor too?
Yeah.
You know, now you can't go from being NXT champion to, oh yeah, IC champ, I was already champion. You can't just be like being in like whatever feuds. Even he pitched the idea to go to NXT UK. I mean, they said, no, you got to go to SmackDown. So it's a pretty tight way of booking, but we'll see what they do. So family, this is pretty much SmackDown from the Madison Square Garden. Pretty good show. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as we did. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and also have a great weekend. And where else can they find us?
And then make sure you follow us, Rope Break, on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
Subscribe, family, and have a great weekend. And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...